Sinclair, faculty for PTAGlobal and master trainer for Viper. Today we're going to show you some essentials of shoveling and relay it back to some of the content that we provide at the certification and advanced courses with PTAGlobal. People that are having to lift, shift, drag, twist, dump, or pull. And all these movements are all combined into one activity, and we call that shoveling. You're forward than the other, and just reach. You can reach and even drag that foot into the snow a little bit. And we're going to go to the side, so I'm going to stand on that same left foot, reach, and just, we want to actually open up at the ankle so we get some good transverse plane motion at the ankles. On the same leg, reach it straight up into the sky, so I get a nice lengthening at the front of the hip. Taking the left hand and reach down. And take a small step with my left foot and reach straight to the sky. The driver of the motion, or what's initiating the motion, is the pelvis. So we want to try and see if we can get the hips to actually turn. So I'm just going to hang on to this little guy here, hang on to my shovel, and I'm going to pivot this hip. And so what's great about this is not only do I get some transverse rotation at the hip on my stance leg, I'm basically driving it into internal rotation, which is stretching the posterior part of the body, but I'm also decoupling the hips, and I do that 5 in each direction. So I'll do it on this side so you can see where that foot's doing. So I get a nice pivot and rotation at the pelvis. I'll take both hands here, slide it down the shovel, come back up, reach one hand back, then the other hand back. So I'm getting step forward with my left leg, reach and tilt that shovel. Step, left leg's going forward, but I'm going to reach and this time push that. Those are 9 little mobilizers. My ankles feel better, my hips feel better, my thoracic spine feels better. I'm getting ready to shovel. There are 3 key components that we're looking for when we do the shovel. Number 1, we always want to maintain a long spine when we're tall, which is hard for me to do being so short. So the spine staying long and tall. All our motion is going to initiate from the pelvis itself. So when I decide I want to rotate, I want my pelvis to move through and for me to pivot on my back foot. That's really easy to do on a frictionless surface like snow or ice that's been kind of packed down. So make sure that your front foot, you have a lot of weight onto that front foot to allow yourself to have a good solid base before rotating. The third thing we want to do is we want to reach from the shoulders. What I mean by that is when we go to throw, we often try to lift and try to do as much of the work with the upper body as possible. So we want to actually push through the ground and rotate. So here's a couple progressive exercises for show. Set narrow grip. So now more of the mass is getting closer to the end of the Viper, which is going to be more simple. The Viper. Shoveling is a repetitive movement, and it takes a lot of dominant motions, so we tend to always have our dominant hand at the top part of the shovel, but it's important that we don't get pattern overload or too much force going to the same tissues over and over again. So it's important that we shovel in both directions. We might call this frontal plane shoveling. So this is a shifting pattern. We're moving that snow through a field of gravity rather than lifting up against it. Drive through the legs and move that snow. Let's try another one. In tight to the body, into the ground. We're going to go through a lift, a shift, and a twist. So I'm going to lift. I'm going to be shifting that snow through a field of gravity and dumping or releasing. Over again. Load into the body, create a lift, so I'm using an open hand. I could also use a closed hand grip or an overhand grip with the shovel. I got all my weight onto my front foot, lifting tall through the spine, initiating movement through the pelvis, and then extending through the shoulders. So it's lift, extend, switching hands, grip. Shoveling, or in a front, taking that snow in different directions. Some good vector variability. Whew, that's good. Well, I better hurry up and keep going at this. I got a client I want to go have some fun with. Have a super day, guys.